Okay. So as far as you're concerned, this whole issue that has been raised and been spoken highly about in the media and by prime ministers and finance guru is all more scaremongering, scare tactics, is it?
It's not, no, I don't want to downplay that, but there are probably institutions which have been affected, which has large clienteles. So I'm sure there are institutions which have been affected, and that those institutions rightly are making their position known. But to say that because of these measures taken by these correspondent banks, that the entire economy of some of these countries are going under the sea, no, that will not happen.
Okay, okay, and finally, before we cut, just a question on my mind is that I think that this can provide, and again, based on the topic of our program and the byline, beyond remittance, I think it's a good opportunity that, well, don't look at it as that way, but when these things happen, you get an opportunity to think outside the box, to be more creative, to be more dynamic in how you do your business. Would this be an opportunity you will see in disguise?
Yes, it's an opportunity because when you have a stronger bank, NCB is a strong financial institution. We have the best corporate governance, which I have seen in that many places. We have a excellent KYC and an AML regime. That's the reason why most of the banks are showing confidence in NCB and its subsidiaries. So yes, we probably will have an opportunity here, but we are not going to kind of change our business model to grab any of the businesses which, if at all, fall through. No, we will make sure our primary objective is to service national commercial bank customers, and that is our main objective. We are not a money transfer company. We are a subsidiary of National Commercial Bank, based in UK, and our main objective is to support those customers, support exports out of Jamaica, and we'll continue to do that. And that's our clientele. That is the clientele we are going to service.
Leonard, thanks a lot for that. I mean, it has been very informative. I think it was very dynamic, and I can see some important takeaways here, Nigel. Yeah. The importance that just to recap, Leonard, the fact that we're looking at this thing beyond remittance. You have added a whole new freshness to the conversation, unlike most others who are looking to doom and gloom. So from that perspective, I think this was a very insightful discussion.
But before we move on, Dennis, I mean, you sent me a couple of articles which I saw, but has this become a huge discussion point? Because I don't see that discussion so much in UK so far, but has it become a big issue?
It has become a big issue, as you can see from some of the articles. The prime ministers are writing about it, of Antigua, and so a lot of the OACS countries, a lot of the Caribbean countries are talking about it. So maybe in the UK, it may not be as a massive issue than getting out of the EU, for instance, but definitely in our part of the world, as you can see from the articles, when a prime minister is making that a top priority, and a number of people in that kind of ilk, it is a big issue.
And it's not just the Caribbean diaspora alone, the African diaspora and Indian diaspora are also talking a bit about it, because there's a lot of uncertainty around this. When there's change, there's uncertainty. So people aren't entirely sure how this would affect them in sending money back to their families or paying for things back home or in their home countries. So, of course, you're providing some much needed clarification on this issue. For a lot of people, this won't have a significant effect. And even if it does, there are alternatives. But the conversation so far, a big part of it is, as Dennis said, doom and gloom. So you've already provided a new perspective on the issue.
Yeah, but I think going forward, there will be a distinct distinction between institutions and financial institutions which are governed properly, and institutions which the correspondence banks are not happy with. Period. These are the two distinctions that's going to take place. All these years, I think we have been having a kind of a regime where everybody was doing business, and there was not much of pressure from stakeholders. Today it's different. So going forward, there will be whether it's I'm not going to I can't talk. I'm not qualified to talk about Antigua or Trinidad or Barbados, but I can talk about Jamaica. I think Jamaica will continue to have avenues to receive the remittances without any hindrance.
Great.
Leonard. Of course, as you know, this is an ongoing series, so we'll be dealing with different perspectives in terms of investment and trade, and NCB being one of the big players in the Caribbean, there are so many different components of NCB that covers the wide spectrum of investment and banking that we, from time to time, we would seek clarification, and of course to hear how you're getting on and how we can engage in assisting the education process and the development process of Caribbean business and investment going forward. So we really appreciate your time, Leonard, and as Nigel said, to add clarity to this thing and to bring a perspective that I think is well needed. And we are just a conduit. We are just messengers, Leonard, just to give you a perspective, and we are here to engage with experts and get more information and get clarity so we can assist the region in developing their investment portfolio, the banking relationship, and create dynamics in terms of the enterprise network, which is what we are, Caribbean Enterprise Network, and sticking with that vision. So it's exciting to have this and to have you here and to share those invaluable information and views and takeaways with us. So thanks again on behalf of SIN, and Nigel, of course, will have some closing items on that.
Well, again, just to echo Dennis, thanks again, and we'd love to have you back on again as we deal with other financial issues, because we have a big trade and investment segment coming up a bit later on, and will probably coincide with Diaspora Week, and having a discussion with you in terms of financial issues that affect exporters would be a great discussion for us to hold around that time period.
Another key area to end the point is that, as you're well aware, the Jamaica Stock Exchange has been voted the best performing exchange in the world last year, which brings a whole dynamics to the whole area of opportunities in investment and scaling that, not only from Jamaica perspective, but from the Caribbean region's perspective. And that's another area we'll be looking to go into to just, again, to add clarity, to inform and educate and get people to understand the dynamics of that and how the diaspora and the global market, looking at the Caribbean, because we are all about that, and the Caribbean interests could help to leverage that and to build our region going forward. And that's a massive one for us. The fact that it's like Usain Bolt winning the gold medal again. You know, we have a number one in the world, and again Jamaica. So you know, it's interesting. It's interesting. As Nigel said, going forward, it promises to be of great interest, and we know that we're already getting a lot of traction for this, what we're doing here, because it's a massive need, as you can see. a massive need for that sort of information and dissemination of information and perspectives from people who are in the know. So, you know, we sometimes we take half-baked things and it becomes a reality. You know how it is, Leonard.
Yes.
So it's important to get people like yourself who are sort of expert, have many years experiences in this, not only in the region but globally, to give us the real spin on what's happening. So we're speaking from a position of strength and the experts in the field. So thanks once again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
All right, take care. All right, thanks. Bye.